I recently got this, the KZ Pisces. I think that's how you call it. It's an interesting dual driver IEM in this budget segment, so I thought let's check it out. It has a pretty nice matte finish metal back and a familiar transparent front plate. You can even see the two drivers in there. It also has tuning switches very similar to the Castor, the ZA12, the Vader Pro, etc. Now the cable is typical KZ, which means it's not very good, but it's okay. Sound-wise, the treble on this thing was a bit too sharp for me when the switches 3 and 4 were up, so I had to bring them down to 0. And in 0, there's a surprising amount of airiness or shimmer in the top end, which is something that I like. Now the mid bass was a bit too strong for my taste even with the switches completely turned down, but it is a lot more modest compared to something like the Castor Pro. So these are still overall slightly warm sounding IEMs, and this warmth carries over to the vocals as well. These sound really nice with acoustic tracks, albeit slightly bassy. If you like that bouncy sound, then you'll enjoy this a lot more than I did. Just keep all 4 switches down and enjoy. I don't think you need to play around with that. Now it doesn't seem to handle multi-layered vocals all too well. Like sometimes the secondary vocals sound a bit too distant, sometimes they get buried or overpowered with the mid bass a little bit. So this isn't exactly a technical champion like the KZ PRX is, or even the Vader Pro for that matter. So overall this is pretty good for the price. It's totally enjoyable, but not necessarily made for balanced listeners. But then again, KZ has very few options in the balanced tuning category in this price. As I mentioned, this has much more controlled bass than the Castor Pro, but the treble, as I said, can be a little too sharp for some people in certain tracks. So if you're a treble sensitive person, just keep in mind this thing's slightly on the sharper end. But that does make it a pretty good option for gaming. It has that sharpness that's needed. And if you're considering picking this up, I would still recommend that you spend a little bit more and get the Vader Pro. Yes, it's slightly higher priced, but it has much better soundstage and better performance overall. The triple drivers on the Vader Pro is really something else in this price. It's pretty much one of my favorite budget IEMs of 2025. I'll link both of these in the description. You can pick whichever one you wish. And yes, you can get this one from me as well, as usual, for a great discount. Just email me.